Hello everyone, this is Joe. Today I invited my professor David to try Joe speaking to conduct a full IELTS speaking simulation. First, David, let's go.
All right, let's do this.
Go
And
next.
let's start.
Hello, my name is Todd. Could you tell me your full name, please?
David Hudson.
Thank you. Now, let's begin. In this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about shoes. What kind of shoes do you usually wear?
Usually comfortable running shoes most of the
And how do you choose what shoes to buy?
time. I guess I go to the shoe store and look and see what's on sale and kind of go from there.
Do you prefer buying shoes online or in stores?
I definitely prefer buying shoes in the store.
All right, let's move on to pets and animals. Do you have any pets?
Not at the moment. We used to have cats, but they are no more.
I see. Is there any type of animal you'd like to have as a pet in the future?
In the future, oh boy. Well, I guess the obvious answer is the right one. I've always liked dogs.
And what do you think are the benefits of children having pets?
Oh, lots of benefits. I mean, you learn to look after something that's not yourself, that's not a toy, that needs a certain amount of attention every day. That's good for kids.
Okay, now let's move on to life stages. What do you think is the best age to be right now?
I think every age is a good age. I mean, I had a lot of fun when I was 7. I had a lot of fun when I was 17. I had a lot of fun when I was 27. I'm 63 now and still having fun. So I'm gonna plead no contest on that one.
That's a great way to think about it. And what are some of the most important decisions people make as they grow older?
Um, the most important decisions. So what you believe, who you love, those are more important than anything else. And so choosing wisely on both those, I think, are the most important decisions.
And how do you think people's views on life change as they get older?
Um, I guess in theory, you get a little bit more time to reflect. Maybe because you've been through a few crises, you're a little bit calmer when the next one comes, and you can be a little bit more objective. I wouldn't say it gets easier, but grandkids are easier to look after than your own kids, I guess is what I would say, and that applies in other dimensions of life too.
Thank you. Now we move on to part two. I'll give you a topic to talk about for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to prepare first.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Great. Here's your topic. Describe a great dinner you and your friend or family members enjoyed. You now have 1 minute to prepare. I'll tell you when to start. Start speaking now.
Okay. So last summer it was a nice day, and so with almost no planning and no lead time, we invited some neighbors over just for a simple dinner. So it was nice enough here that we could eat outside. It was literally the neighbors from either side of us, who we see all the time, but usually just briefly, outside. And the food wasn't complicated. It was salads, a couple of things done in the barbecue. Everybody brought a bit of wine, and that was kind of it. The the meal wasn't complicated to prepare, but it certainly was good. Everybody was relaxed, and we just sat outside and talked for hours. Eventually lit the candles outside, so that was nice too. It was just you talk about good vibe. I mean, nice people, nice food, relaxed, no stress preparing, no stress during the conversation. It was a perfect evening. That's the one that I thought of.
Thank you. Have you shared many meals with those neighbors before?
Yeah, a few. We get together once in a while with them, but maybe not as often as we should. And maybe that's part of what it made it special is that we had a little bit more time. And like I said, it was because it was spur of the moment. It was super relaxed all the way around from start to finish.
And do you think you'll do it again soon?
Yep, we will. We will. And then part of the trick is trying not to overthink it because, like I said, what made it special last time was that it was almost impulsive, spur of the moment. And so putting too much planning into it this time might wreck it.
Thank you. We've been talking about a great meal you enjoyed. I'd like now to discuss some more general questions related to this. First, why do people like to have meals together during important festivals?
Oh boy. There's probably lots of answers to that. But we all like to eat. And so getting people together doing things they like, that's always a good thing. It encourages them to stick around because we all like to eat, as opposed to not everybody likes to golf or play tennis or whatever. So we all like to eat, so it's easy to get people together. And for sit-down meals, I mean, usually there's a preamble, then there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that can stretch out over a couple of hours. So it means you're together for quite a while. And there's, the different sort of stages of the meal allow for different types of conversation. Hi, how are you? What's the weather? And then sort of digging into, life and family and kids and parents or whatever else is going on that's, maybe stressful or not stressful, but and then there's sort of the unwinding at the end around tea or coffee or whatever. I mean, there's kind of a give and take, an ebb and flow to a meal that not only encourages conversation because there's time spent together, but there's the different stages. And so that off the top of my head would be my guess.
Hmm. People are spending less and less time having meals with their families these days. Is this good or bad?
I personally, I think it's bad. I mean, we as a family, just as a decision we made when we first had kids, we resolved that we would always have dinner together. We never had to have a rule about turning off devices. We just kind of all implicitly did that. And I thought it was good. I remember reading a longitudinal study that was done. This would have been U.S. centric, so it doesn't necessarily generalize to other places or other cultures. But the researchers studied all kinds of factors in sort of life outcome over decades. And one of the conclusions that they reached was families that had meals together, generally speaking, were more cohesive, and the kids had better outcomes. So, I mean, that's a little bit of science. I can't quote the author because it's too long ago, but it maps to my kind of lived experience.
That's interesting. What do people often talk about during meals?
Well, I guess that's kind of the point. You can talk about anything, the trivialities of weather and how was your day at a high level through to, of course, sports and politics and whatever's in the news at that particular moment, or, the life challenges that we all go through, whether that's loved ones that we've lost track of, or illnesses, or I don't know, job difficulties. I mean, that's the part of the beauty of spending time with people where you're literally, stuck face to face, generally speaking, around a table, is that pretty much all topics are fair game. There are some people who kind of abuse that, I suppose, but generally speaking, within a family or a friend unit, everybody kind of knows what the boundaries are, including the more sensitive topics. And so it works. Oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. Were you able to hear the last question?
I did
asked
not. I
what
did
people
not.
often talk about during meals.
Oh, so with the neighbors, the one that I mentioned earlier, that one's always fun because one of our neighbors is very, let's call it left wing. He was politically very active when he was younger. The other neighbor is very right wing, and both of the spouses in each case would be moderate, but they're kind of good about their political views. They like to spar in a, let's call it a friendly fashion, and that's always good because you get multiple perspectives on a topic, even politically sensitive topics, with people that are prepared to listen to each other. At family meals, like when we get together around big holidays, oh goodness, it's almost always some amount of catching up on everybody we can think of in the family and who knows what about which uncle or niece or nephew, that kind of thing. Um, so it goes in lots of directions, I guess, is what I would say.
Is it a hassle to prepare a meal at home?
Is it a hassle? Sure, it's work, but why on earth do we have kitchens if we're not going to use them? And we live in an age where there's all kinds of appliances that make things relatively easy, from the stove to the
Thank you.
dishwasher.
That is the end of the speaking test. Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test. Scoring silently. Okay.
Okay, complete.
All right.
There are slides and some reconnection happening.
Yep.
But you got 9.0.
Ooh.
Yeah, the maximum score as a native speaker. Yeah, here are your transcripts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, you are the first human to achieve this score. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Thank you.
celebrate.